Now we're recording. Okay, welcome to the expanded version of the Become a Better Agent coaching call. And this the design of this, Kevin and I were working through this for the past few months. The design of this is to do an A to Z and get everyone on this call up to speed in the way of doing business, the realtor life, and anything that we can do to help you become a better agent. There's two versions to this. There's this version, which is we're assuming everybody is either new to real estate or is new-ish to real estate. We have another call that I just got off of, and that's for the seasoned agents who are producing, who are full-time realtors, not part-time realtors, and we do some pretty significant drill downs going into Facebook, driving people to your Facebook page, website design, and really some high-level kind of stuff. What we're trying to do with this is get you guys to that point. But without knowing where you are, we're going to kind of start at the beginning. And I gave everybody a homework assignment, and I hope everybody did the homework assignment. And it was to get this piece right here. And if you would, for the folks that are on the call, go to the chat box again and let me know if you can see the screen that I'm sharing. Just type something in that you can. I can see the screen. And I'll go ahead and type here. Okay, awesome. So we can see the screen. You should have gotten this Baba business page right here. Drop that. And this is the business planning tool that we used for Become a Better Agent. It is formatted for a PDF. Oh, it's a PDF file, but it's formatted for a booklet. So as it came to you, I know you opened it up and looked at it and said, what in the heck do I do with this? It's kind of all over the place. But if you take it to your local printer, they should be able to put a booklet together for you. And that's kind of the purpose of this, so you can have kind of a handy little booklet to kind of refer from. And what we're going to do is we're going to take you kind of through that booklet right now. And a lot of the stuff that we talk about on these calls, you're going to hear a repeat of. We're going to use this booklet quite a bit. So let me drop out of this and move this and do that, and we should be in a good spot for it. Okay. So we usually do this in January. We start by going. January is the time where we are developing our business and we're moving everything forward. We started this program in January, and we've had the ability to expand it now. There's a lot more work in this than we originally thought. But the first thing, and what we really want to talk about the most, is we don't want to set goals. Stop setting goals. And I know that's a crazy thing to say because everybody sets goals. That's all you hear. What is your goal? What is your goal? What is your goal? But goal setting essentially doesn't work, and there's a couple of reasons that we'll get to in a moment. The number one most popular New Year's resolution. Does everybody know what that is? Type in that chat box. What's the number one most popular New Year's resolution? Lose weight. This year I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to lose, whatever. Typically, it doesn't happen much. And you can see here the prevalence of obesity among the U.S. adults is growing. By 2030, the obesity rate is going to be the highest ever. So that particular goal doesn't really work. Anybody know what the number two most popular New Year's resolution is? Make more money. Well, that's a source of a little bit of debate. I pulled this data here, and this is a little bit on a median household income. You can see it goes up and it goes down. If I have a goal set for myself to make more money, statistically, we're all over the place. It's up, it's down, and it really follows a lot of market trends. Now, you all are in real estate to make money in real estate. And I know that we have friends that we know, or maybe we were recruited by friends in the real estate business to come in and make more money. The commissions are extraordinary. Of course, we know the work is pretty heavy as well. But the big reason is goal setting. We look at the end result, and that's the problem. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to make more money. Well, that's a want. A want is synonymous with a wish. And the problem we have is we have no control over wants or wishes. What we want to do as we're going through this program is set things up in our planning tool that are controllable. That's the big thing that you're going to hear Kevin and myself talk about, is the ability to control what you're doing. When somebody says, I want to lose 20 pounds this year, well, what control factors do you have on that? Have you set forth any bulletproofing? What if you get injured? What if business picks up? What if business slows down? What if something happens to the car? It typically derails us, and then we don't address it again. It's like another goal that we missed this year. So we want to get out of that mindset of doing wants and wishes, and we want to set control factors. The reason we have this call is so we set these little, tiny, small, reachable, short-term evolutions. You can use the word goal, that's perfectly fine, to get us to the larger end goal. So if your goal this year is to lose 20 pounds, or your goal is to make $100,000 in real estate, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the little daily things that are in your control that you can do every day or every week that will get you to that. And who knows, if you lay that path out in front of you and execute those little items that you have control over every day, every week, 100 may come halfway through the year. It may be 120, 140, 180. If it's not, if it's something different, then you know that we need to get down and drive down into those weeklies and dailies and fix them, get them squared away to get you to that grand goal, or that grand, that place where you really want to be. There's a second part to this business plan, and this is the part that people think is really kind of hokey. It's not. It's actually pretty critically important. It's the why. Why are we doing this? You could go out and have a job at the state right now. You can go and do an office job right now. You can go and do kind of whatever you want right now. Why did you choose real estate? Why are you in this? What purpose is this serving? Why are you doing what you're doing? The big thing is, who will it benefit? Will it only benefit you? If you're a single father, or you're a single dad, or single somebody running around doing your stuff, it's going to benefit you directly. Maybe you have children, maybe you have a spouse, maybe you have people you're taking care of. So the division of that why is going to be pretty important. I'm going to encourage you to really focus on these first few slides to determine what you're really doing, why you're doing it, and who it's really going to benefit. The second part of the successful business plan, and this is one we work on a lot, is the how. We got an ambulance going by there. How are you going to drive success? How are you going to stay on track? And how are you going to account for the challenges? I come from an athletic background. I went to a military school, raised in a military household. So every plan we had a backup plan. And it was funny, the military school that I went to is here locally. I wasn't a bad kid. It was just a really good school choice for me. And one of the instructors said this quite a lot. 2 is 1, 1 is none. I'll repeat it. 2 is 1, and 1 is none. So if you use it in a military vernacular, 2 knives, you lose 1, you still got 1. If you put 1 knife on your belt loop and you lose that, you have no knife, and then you're really up the creek. So accounting for challenges will come up through your business, technology issues, technology changes, whatever it may be. So we need to account for that kind of stuff. Identifying your why. Money has 0 value. If you really think about it, money has no value whatsoever. But what it does is it gets us products and services. That's all money has. So if we're striving for money, to what end? Why are you collecting money? to buy products and services. That's the only thing that it really has a value, okay? Money can also buy a typical person some freedom of time. I am not an outstanding employee. I'm a good employee, but not an outstanding employee. I like to work for myself. I like to make my own rules and make my own time. A lot of us on this call probably have that same kind of attitude. Lifestyle, families, health. MPS stands for mental, physical, and spiritual. Recreation, social life. All of these are the core values that we work with. Money buys us the products and services associated with that lifestyle, providing for your family, going to the gym, taking a vacation. I had a friend of mine out in California. She is a big diver, and she wanted to dive Iceland. Why she would want to dive Iceland, I have no idea. But the money that she accrued took her and her buddy to Iceland for 3 weeks to go do some diving exercises out there, which was, incredible. But without the money, she doesn't get to Iceland from California. Recreational activity, social life. These are your core values. That's what this money that we're talking about, that we're getting, is going to help produce. On your sheet, you'll be able to see these all kind of laid out. And you can see it's kind of a Venn diagram. If you think back to school, we had those Venn diagrams where you have a concentric circle, and you'll have something sitting in that concentric circle, like family, health, mental, physical, spiritual, recreation, your social life, and your lifestyle. You'll notice that those concentric circles intersect. They depend on each other. They work with each other. If you have a family like the Cushmans, for example, they've got babies. So their lifestyle and their family is different now as they have children, as they are parents. Going out for happy hour 3 nights a week, or going and cruising as a married couple, is different now. So those circles intersect. But the key thing I want you to realize is where all those circles all intersect together is what we call your source. That's your source of strength, fortitude. That's where you feel the most empowered. When your life is in balance, when you've got your family in balance, when your lifestyle and your social lifestyle are in balance, the recreational activities. Me, I like to go to the gym. I want to do another triathlon and all that kind of stuff. So the health is a big thing for me. When all of that is in balance, that's where you feel absolutely the best. We've got a lot of folks on this call, and a lot of folks from different real estate agencies, many of them from Future Home. And Bob talks a lot about, hey, you got to have a full life. You've got to have kind of everything in balance. And one thing that kind of, he talks a lot about his health. And, when your pants fit better, you'll sell more real estate. And that's kind of true. When everything is in balance, everything just works better. You feel better. The confidence soars. So the purpose of this exercise is to identify those core values so that you can get that source blooming in your life, and you can really drive your whole self and your core value forward. Very simply, it's a more of and it's a less of. Each core value circle we can improve in 2 ways. More of something, more time, money, unity, flexibility, excitement. Whatever you're more of is right. If you want more free time, that's what we're looking towards. And as we're moving through this, I'm going to encourage you to take that booklet and make notes in it and write this stuff down. And these little boxes we're going to get to in just a minute, I want you to fill them out. So we're going to go back to it occasionally and check, and we're going to do new ones every once in a while to make sure, because your values change as you go further. Make sure that you're meeting all of those expectations you have. The other way that we can improve is to remove things from these core values. Remove stress, guilt, tension, restrictions, hours, abuse, whatever it may be. So in this first little exercise we're going to do, you're going to write in there you want to do more of something or less of something. And if you look into your Baba tool that we sent out, you have each one of these broken out: family, health, recreation, friends, and lifestyle. Write in there what you want more of and or less of. If your family is right where you want it, skip it. Don't even worry about it. If your health is right exactly where you want it in your peak of physical condition, keep doing the things that you're doing. Write it in there. Whatever those core values that you have in your life that you want to either improve of, keep the same, or you want to remove some things from, write it down. And I'm going to encourage you not to do it electronically. I want you to print this booklet out and have it. Keep it by your desk. You need to carry it with you, but it's something that we're going to refer to occasionally. Write down these core values and what you want more of and less of from each one of them. Now, in the interest of time, I'm going to continue to kind of move through this and not pause. Okay, there's a personal philosophy that everybody kind of has. When we're alone, there's a way that we operate. Operate within groups, operate by ourselves, operate within our family, just generally the way you are, what makes you you, what you are about, the manner in which you work, what are your strengths and weaknesses. And these are things that are kind of important to identify. You've got your third section is your personal philosophy. I'm going to encourage you to also write this down. What's your purpose? Your stand. What do you stand for? What are your strengths? And if you were to pass away or die, go to the next network meeting in the sky, what would they say about you at your funeral in one sentence? Take a moment, write down what these things are. It's important for you to identify the purpose that you have here. What are you doing with your time on this planet? Your stand is how you validate that purpose. That's what people actually see. If you are volunteer oriented and you like giving back, write it down. If you're not volunteer oriented, that is perfectly okay. Write it down. The people that engage with you, what you stand for that identifies that purpose. Then, of course, your strengths. We don't talk too much about weaknesses in this kind of form. I found in athletics, really didn't. Some people say you need to make a weakness a strength. I've never found that to be very successful. I make my strengths stronger and I mitigate my weaknesses. If I was a baseball guy, so if you get a guy that doesn't run real well, he's not a leadoff hitter. You don't put him number one in the lineup. You bury him in the lineup. But if you got some power and he can hit the ball out of the ballpark, that's what you work on. We mitigate those weaknesses so they're not as weak, and then we make sure that we identify those strengths and we really build upon those strengths. The one that I like the best in here is that spoken eulogy. What would somebody say about you if they stood up at your funeral? And does it correlate with your purpose and your stand? Again, moving on, in the interest of time, you've got some drill downs here. Now, these are voluntary. You don't necessarily have to do this, but take the time and kind of read these things out. And sometimes it can be kind of telling. And I'm going to jump around a little bit. The third box is, what if you won the lottery tomorrow? What would you do? If you had all the money you needed. Now, right now, we're pushing through and trying to get into a situation where we're trying to make more money, make more money, make more money. What if you had all the money you needed? What would you do? Would you do things different or the same? If you were diagnosed with terminally ill with an illness and you had a year to live, what would you do? It's important to identify this stuff because these are things, as you move through your business will change. You'll have months where you're going to have $10,000, $15,000 in commissions. For some of you on this call, that may be low. For some of you, that would be a dream come true. What do you do with the money? Do you set your kids up with a 457 college fund? Are you setting up stuff for your retirement? If I was to die tomorrow, what would I do with the money that I have now? These are things, when you start really writing these down and start drilling down in your head a little bit, I think you'll end up kind of surprising yourself. So take the time, fill these out, The big rule on this stuff is honestly. You don't have to share this with anybody, but you need to be honest and authentic with yourself. How now, brown cow? Now we kind of get to the drilling it down to its constituent points. This is the how part, and this is what Kevin and I work on quite consistently. Your plan. Your plan will not span more than 90 days. This is a short-term business plan. You have folks that talk about business plans and things like that, and you'll see companies that'll write mission statements and all that's great. That is all fantastic. But your business plan, because of the way this thing moves, and we don't talk about long-term goals, we talk about short-term evolutions and things we can control. We don't plan more than 90 days out. And I want you to get into the habit of keeping a 90-day business plan. Now, your marketing efforts will pass 90 days. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is how you operate, and we're going to measure those 90-day business plans. Bulletproofing. We're going to talk about bulletproofing in just a minute, but it's important to know. Remember I talked about 2 is 1 and 1 is none? You're going to have, statistically, there's lots of different stats out there that show many different things. First and foremost is every year you're going to have one unexpected event that happens. Every 5 years, you're going to have something significantly more, let's say, destructive or catastrophic that happens. How are you planning for that? Many times I'll talk to realtors and they'll say, yeah, I had the buyer out and it was great. They want to buy the house and there was no cell service and I couldn't get on Wi-Fi and it was this big fiasco. Do you not have a paper contract? If you're out right now and you're showing houses, going to appraisals or whatever, have a paper contract with you. That's one form of bulletproofing. Just have it with you. If you have it with you, you'll never have to use it. But the one time that you get that buyer out and you've got a problem with your Wi-Fi, your hotspot or whatever, and you don't have a paper contract, you kind of look not competent, and then you give more time. They're ready to sign. Let them sign. Let's go. Get it done. Teaming. This is a thing that drives me absolutely crazy. Businesses, and most of us have been in large corporations before, and they talk about team, team, team. I grew up in a military environment. I grew up in a military school. Believe me, they know team. I was in athletics for most of my life. I was a baseball coach. I worked in pro ball and a little touch with the Olympic team. Obviously, they know team. The corporate world has no clue what teaming is. They shouldn't be allowed to use that word. We're going to truly talk about what teaming is. I want you to have a battle buddy. I want you to have a partner realtor. Maybe that's your husband or wife. Maybe that's somebody you know. It is going to be important with the time that you dedicate to this. Remember, we do off-hour work. We work weekends and nights. That's also family time. I want you to find a battle buddy, another realtor that you can team with. Did I say share commissions? No. Did I say give referral fees? No. If that's something you work out, great. If you team correctly, you will be stronger as a unit than you ever will be as an individual. And believe me, I've been a lone wolf. I had to raise a baby all by myself. That was a mistake on my part. I should have employed more folks to kind of help me get that baby up and running. Now, she's fine, don't get me wrong, but it certainly had some setbacks. Outside accountability, what we call ARO, activities, results, and outcomes. Oops, let me back up. Went too fast. Sorry about this. I'm going a little too fast in here, and I'm on a different computer. Outside accountability. This is the call we're on right now. This is your outside accountability. We'll go to kind of how this all plays out in just a moment. Holding yourself accountable is great if you are that person. If you're the person that gets up on time, you're the person that makes yourself go to the gym and makes yourself eat your vegetables, great. You don't need as much. Most of us aren't like that. Most of us need outside accountability, somebody that we can trust, know, love, and care about that's going to hold us accountable and say, no, go to the gym, get your butt off the couch and get into the gym because you said that's what you wanted to do. Or make those phone calls. You said you're going to reach out to your sphere on Mondays between noon and 1. Have you made those phone calls? If you haven't, hang up the phone right now and go make those phone calls. We need somebody that holds us accountable and somebody that we will take direction from. The plan itself is very simple. You hear Kevin and I talk about your actions and your results. What are you doing that you can control? Your controllable actions that will trigger a result. And then we're going to measure what those outcomes are. And one example is if you are buying leads from Zillow, that's an action. You're buying leads from Zillow. You have 5 leads coming in a week, a month, a day, whatever it may be. What are the results? Are they resulting in conversations? Are those conversations resulting in showings? Are those results of showings resulting in contracts? That's how we measure it. And if it's not over a 90-day period, we think about adjusting, maybe changing the zip code of the leads you're getting, or maybe ditching it all together and going to the backup plan, that bulletproofing section, and getting them off homes.com or realtor.com. But we can't just sling spaghetti on the wall. We've got to actually measure these things. We don't want to build your plan to succeed. And I know I've said a couple of things on this kind of lecture right now that are a little surprising. We don't set goals. We don't set those big goals. We use very short-term accountable evolutions, and we don't want to set a business plan to succeed. I had the luxury of working in Tallahassee, Florida for a long time in baseball when Bobby Bowden was the football coach. And if you don't know who Bobby Bowden was, he's a legend in college football. And candid conversations with Bobby Bowden, look, I don't expect to win. I expect to not lose. And it's a different mindset when you go at it that way. When you build a plan to eliminate failure opportunities, what is there left? The only thing to the right of the equal sign at that point is success. I don't want you to think about building a successful business plan. What I want you to think about is building a business plan that eliminates the failure opportunities. We just talked about one right there, having a paper contract with you. If you're out and about and your cell phone goes down and you don't have Wi-Fi, that's a failure opportunity that's just sitting there waiting to go. If you have a paper contract, you can get the signatures you need, get the contract in when you get to a spot, and you've just turned that failure opportunity on its ear. You've created a successful moment out of it. So as we're moving forward, we're going to remove those failure opportunities. And that is what we call bulletproofing. That is a good business plan. How do you account for the elimination of failure opportunities? One of the ways we do that, and I'm sorry the resolution isn't so good. I try to blow it up as big as I can, but it's kind of hard to see. You've got your tool there in front of you. The bulletproofing is you're going to write down on the left-hand column some things that are going to come up. Transportation. Do you have a spare tire? Do you have AAA? Technology. Do you have a paper contract if your Wi-Fi doesn't work or if the MLS is down, whatever it may be? And there's a lot more room in there that you can put down possible failure opportunities that are unique to your business. One of them, and I'm going to throw the Cushmans under the bus a little bit, they've got a newborn baby, brand new newborn baby, got the newborn baby smell. And it's a terrible thing to say, but with a new baby requires attention. And those are failure moments that could possibly hinder their business. Do they have a relative, somebody that can pick up the baby, that can babysit if all of a sudden both of them need to shoot out and do a showing on a $500,000 contract or a condo or something like that? So accounting for those failure opportunities ahead of time, and then on the right side, writing down either the teammate or the tool that you use to account for it is going to be really critical. Remember, once a year, you're going to experience a setback. You are definitely going to experience a setback. Within your business, you're going to have setbacks, and these setbacks shouldn't be failure moments. We should have backup plans for the things that we can control so we can move past them. Teaming. You're going to have 2 teams. You're going to have an action team. Your action team drives your business. I am on your action team. Kevin is on your action team. Your broker is on your action team. These are people that help you drive your business forward, and that outside accountability, these are the ones that you're going to have to accept a little, how do I put this politely? You're going to have to be able to accept a little coaching and accept a little, I need you to go do this kind of stuff. Your action team, they don't hold your hand. They're not the ones that are going to be squishy and lovey and huggy, typically. They're going to help you drive your business. They're going to hold you accountable for the things that you said that you want to get done or that you're controlling that you need to get done. You're also going to have a support team. These are the ones that are going to help you keep the pieces together. These are the ones that if you need a break, these are the ones that you shoulder to cry on. These are the ones that are going to give you some direction to keep that business plan focused so that source of your conviction and that source of your fortitude is fulfilled. They're your support system. That's the thing that we really talk about a lot. We'll have realtors that are struggling personally. Who's on your support team? Give them a call. Maybe you call your mom. Maybe you call your best friend. Maybe you call an old coworker and say, look, I'm really struggling. Let's go meet for a cup of coffee. That's your support team. Your action team doesn't do that. Now, am I going to be nice? Of course I'm going to be nice. Is Kevin going to be nice? Of course we're going to be nice. We're not going to be drill sergeants or anything like that. But that's not our job. Our job is to drive your business forward. Your support team are those people that are really going to help you get through those times and give you some strength. You have a section, I think it's section 5 in your Baba Business Tool, where they're identified. Your action team is on the left-hand column, and then the third column is your support team. And I've got some examples in there. Cross through them if you don't like what I've written in there. Cross through it and write your own. But your action team has some needs. For example, me as your Baba coach, I need you to be present. I need you to be open-minded. I need you to be candid and authentic. I can't have you tell me something I want to hear. I need to know the raw truth. If you say that you're going to sit open houses every Sunday for the next 6 months, that's what I'm going by. And every Monday call, did you go sit it? Well, no, I kind of something came out. Okay, now we need to start assessing your actions and results and stuff like that to kind of fix that. Maybe you bit off more than you can chew, and we'll reassess it. Identify your support team. And you'll notice on the 4th line down there on the support team, I put down AAA. Some of those vendors are on your support team. Your support team is also those people that kind of support you in business, your cell phone provider, your Wi-Fi provider, your AAA. Remember, AAA gives you 3 services a year depending on what how many that you use. Make sure you know your status in that. If you get a flat tire going from a showing to another showing, and you got nobody to call, AAA. That's your support team. Get them out there, have them put a spare on there, give you a gallon of gas or whatever. But you need to know where you are in your membership, know if you can use them or not. So even vendors can be on your support team, not so much on your action team. Appraiser, your title agent, your attorney, your CPA, those are your action team folks. Those are the ones that are driving your business, the ones that hold your Roth, your 457 for your kids, your retirement plans, and things like that. That's your action team. Identify all of those folks. Your support team keeps you on track. Actions and results. These are dailies / weeklies. Now, we check in every week, but you're going to fill your calendar out for each day. And these are the things that you are going to assign yourself that direct that outcome. Actions are consistent, repeatable, and these are the things that you do every week, sitting open houses, calling expireds, whatever that may be. These are those controllable things that you do to drive your business. Facebook posts, BombBomb videos, whatever that may be, network marketing or network groups. Your results are measurable. I come from the land of baseball. We count everything. If it can't be counted, it don't count. ERA, the whip, runners left on, chances, scoring positions, total bases, we count everything. The reason we do that is so we can direct our actions to generate the results that we want. You'll see in the bottom section, you've got this action and result chart. Remember, the actions are the things that you do consistently every week or every day, whatever it may be, that will drive a measurable result. Now, this is important, so I'm going to repeat it again. Your actions are the things that you control and you do every week or every day, wash, rinse, repeat, that generate a measurable result. These are the things that happen over time, over and over and over again. I think Einstein was credited with the quote that said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, if you do the same thing over and over and over again and get a different result, is that genius? It may be. If you're consistently calling expireds, eventually it'll probably work. If you're consistently at bank-owned open houses, you're going to get more people to talk to. If you're consistently doing the same thing over and over and over again and you can show a result from it, you're going to win. That's what we're trying to get to here, and that's that actionability that we're talking about. These are the activities. The activities themselves, for example, setting open houses, calling on expireds. Maybe you're in a real estate office where you have floor time. Area farming, whatever those activities are that are consistent, controllable, and you do consistently over time, you write those in. Those are the actions, okay? Now, expanding this further, because remember, it's not just our business, maybe you do cardio for your health-related goals. Maybe you want family dinner once a week. Maybe you want to go to church more. Maybe you want girls' night out, whatever that may be, consistently, to keep you sane and build those other core values. Those get written down as well, because at the end of the day, it's all about how we're measuring our time. So write all of that stuff down. If you want to go out with your girlfriends or your night with the boys, whatever it may be, and that maybe that's even your support team. Every Tuesday at noon, we meet for coffee and talk about stuff. Put it in there, okay? Put it in there. And remember, these are consistent things. If you want to go to church more or meditate more to have that spiritual health, put it in there. We'll hold you accountable for it, and your support team will also hold you on task. Now, your activities will generate results. And these results, if they are real estate oriented, like calling expireds, open houses, or whatever, may result in listing appointments or more showings or contracts, getting out and doing inspections, whatever that may be. Those are the measured results that we look at to determine whether these activities that we're doing are working. So we have to measure them, and it's not going to take a whole lot. This whole thing takes one phone call every week to do. Maybe you want to do cardio 4 times a week. Maybe you want 2 family dinners. Maybe you want to meditate for an hour, or maybe it's happy hour with the girls, the boys, or whatever. Write it down. Measure it. What are the results you're getting from it? If you want to do cardio 4 times a week, did you do cardio 4 times a week? And do your pants fit better? There's a result right there. 2 family dinners. Got time with the kids. Learned that so-and-so fired her boyfriend and now she's got another boyfriend. Maybe you didn't know that. But that family dinner helped to cohesively build the family. Whatever it may be, the consistent things that we do every day, every week, that we generate results from. Those activities or actions, we measure the results and we get an outcome. And every 90 days, we measure that outcome. What do we get? Commissions. That's the big thing for the realtor folks. Do those listings turn into contracts? Do those showings turn into offers? That's how we measure our success as a realtor. That's what's coming out of the very bottom end of that funnel. For your family, your health, your social environment, and your lifestyle, what are you getting out of it? And that's why we do that personal philosophy exercise, because those are little identifiers to help us make sure that we're on task in what we're doing and what we're trying to get out of all of this stuff. Now, this is kind of coming to the end of this particular section. I'll get to your questions here in a moment. What we do in this realtor coaching program is we have a weekly accountability call. This we're doing a presentation for. I need you to fill that BABA tool out that I gave to you that we're going over right now, because we're going to refer back to that. That's step one. But every week we get on a phone call together and we talk about, what did you do this week? Or what are you doing this week? What are your actions? And then the next week we cover, did you do them? What are the results? And then we get to the measurement of those outcomes. And every week we do this check-in call every Monday, and we drill down into what you're doing specifically for your core values, primarily result as they focus on your business, to get you to that measured outcome, that 90-day goal. We're also going to be working in a monthly webinar where we'll have special guests come on. I'll turn the screen over to them, and they'll do presentations on breaking down the contract. Kevin will come on and talk about title and title commitments, breaking the hood down. I'll come and talk about the insurance related issues, the 4-point cheat sheet, whatever that may be. So we'll get that information out, and we'll try to hold court every month. We don't do it at the bottom of the month because that's the last week of the month is closings, but we'll have a webinar for everybody that is really a nuts and bolts kind of webinar. And at the end of each quarter, we like to do a review and do those measured goals. Now, I know we're not exactly on the quarter. We're kind of going the shoot, ready, aim kind of thing, but it doesn't matter because the focus on this is still to get you up, running, and moving forward. Now, remember who your action team is right now. That's Leo Young, that's me, and Kevin Overstreet. I'm an insurance agent. That is my primary focus for this group, as well as the BABA coaching stuff. If you have insurance-related information for a contract that you're putting in or a listing presentation or whatever, quotes at stateinsuranceonline.com. I'll get everybody an email here in just a minute that'll have that in there. It should be the email should be coming from this email address. I'll make sure I check that as well. For your insurance-related needs, I'd like to be that guy. And you can just call us on the phone. Hey, Leo, this one's got a sinkhole. What do I need to get this thing closed? If you have insurance-related questions, very simply, email the synopsis, the multiple listing synopsis to State Insurance, quotes at stateinsuranceonline.com. Kevin, Leo, or Ryan, the three of us work in the same office. We're partners. We can get you an answer pretty quickly on that kind of stuff. ITA, Insured Title Agency, that's Kevin. He is also on your action team. You'll be hearing a lot from Kevin Overstreet. This is the email we're using right now. Kevin may want this changed, but Insured Title is who the title information goes through. And the reason we're saying this right now is when you get to the point where you're putting a contract together, you're going to have to identify where title is going. And because Kevin runs title up front and not in the rears, all those issues with title, like clouds or defects or anything, are identified very early. Same thing for the insurance-related stuff. If all of a sudden there's an issue that you don't know about and you get a synopsis over to us and we look at it and say, wait a minute, there's a double layer roof, there's poly under here, or it needs a 4-point, or I need an elevation certificate for the flood, whatever. These are the things that you don't necessarily know as a real estate agent, nor are we going to make you title agents or insurance agents. We're on your action teams to support you in those endeavors. So having us at the ready is going to be pretty important to make sure that you are set and good to go with that. Homework. And we just faded out of that, but that's okay. Yes, Kevin, in just a minute. We're at the end of it right now. I'm sorry. I got a homework assignment for you. I want you to go to Amazon or wherever and buy a book. Mark Divine wrote this book. It's called The Way of the SEAL. And when we talk about team and things like that, no better than to come from a SEAL team commander. I want you to go buy this book and I want you to read it. It talks a lot about what we're going to talk about moving forward. The Way of the SEAL by Mark Divine. You can read it in a weekend. It is super crazy powerful. And you're going to hear references coming from us several times talking about this program. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to minimize everything here. And let's kind of bring this back up. And if I can figure out how to work the new Okay, show the cursor, hidden, yes, show the cursor. I guess I got to do that. And then there we go. We got a lot of folks that we got some questions for. Right now, let me do this. I'm going to answer some of these questions in the chat box. I'm going to turn Kevin on here. And let's see if I can unmute Kevin. Kevin, you are now unmuted. Kevin, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How about you?
I am on, Kevin. I'm going to answer some of these calls on the chat box here. If you would, we got some few minutes on the call here. Go ahead and address the group, please.
Well, hello, group. Thank you so much for joining our first session here of our second series of coaching calls. And I apologize for my lack of organization this morning. I came in and Monday morning bombardment happened here at the office at Insured Title. But first of all, congratulations for signing up for this. We did the first few months with a smaller group, and I believe everyone got a lot of really good value out of it, and it's really turned into a very good idea sharing mechanism for all of us. Monday mornings are at least in my world, they're the most hectic morning, but also it's the best time to carve out a little bit of time and do this. And Leo has done a great job. I really want to thank him for this. This was kind of his brainchild in the first place, and I'm just doing what I can to help out. But we will be sharing a lot of, what I bring to the table, I think, is mostly the marketing stuff. I have a lot of marketing background, and I've dealt with realtors and mortgage people in all across the nation, particularly in Missouri, and then down here for the last 11 years. So I have a lot of ideas that are going to be new to you that I'll be introducing kind of a piece at a time. And I just really appreciate the involvement and the input. And we really want your feedback, whether it is during these sessions or if you want to talk to Leo or myself privately and let us know what you think. This is relatively new to us, even though we've been doing it for a couple months or a few months. And this is on my end. It's for the Become a Better Agent training program. This is one small yet very important piece of the puzzle. And as I've shared with everyone that's been at the events, I do have an eventual goal of, I'm in the middle of trademarking the kind of the concept and the brand as we speak. And once that's done, it's still not going to be ready to take, I wouldn't say nationwide yet, but to take to other markets. I do have other title guys in other markets that are interested, and they're teed up waiting for me to be able to bring them a comprehensive product. And what I'll be doing is I'll find a Kevin Overstreet in another major market, and I will license him as the Baba title guy or Baba title girl. And I'm literally going to do a non-compete with those people. I will never go there and close transactions or anything. I decided when this thing first started taking off that the best way that I could succeed with this and to help all of you succeed would be, instead of going to other markets and learning all of the nuances of the Department of Insurance and the different laws and the different types of licensing and all of that, and the hardest part, breaking into a market that I'm not from or in. And a lot of markets are good old boy markets, and if you're not a good old boy, then it's an uphill battle to get in. So I'm going to go find the good old boy or good old girl in those places and simply help them Baba, which has become a better agent, and I'm talking title agent in their case. And at some point in the future, I give you my word, the end game with this is the folks who are involved in this program here. What it does for you, obviously, it's a great idea sharing and everything, but it's just like sitting through any type of education. It's just like getting your real estate license. It's just like getting a certified distressed property expert. And does it mean you're truly an expert? Not necessarily. It depends on the person, but the CDPE on your business card does mean that you've attended a bunch of classes and you've passed some type of test or exam, and you know more than you did without it. So what Baba does locally is obviously it connects you with a bunch of people who are vetted, people who are very good at what they do. If they drop the ball and if they aren't consistently giving good service, then they're out of the club. I actually just kicked 2 people out last week, and don't need to get into who they are just yet. But so I create this huge value thing that I can take to another title person in another market. They pay Baba a monthly fee, so there's how Baba will make money. As you know, Baba doesn't charge the partners or the realtors anything, so it's not a direct income producing entity yet. But if you, I haven't looked at the stats, but I will soon, so I can actually give you real numbers. But everyone knows that a hell of a lot of people, when they retire and move, or if they do like I do and just move, a lot of times they're moving to Florida, and the very hottest markets in, well, hell, the hottest market in America, hottest major city is St. Pete. And number 4, and this isn't just the state, it's for the nation, is Tampa. So a lot of those folks are moving to this area, to your backyard. And I know for sure that what they're doing is they're going and they're finding a property on Zillow or on Realtor.com or whatever, and they're reaching out to relatively random agents, whether it's the listing agent or someone who is paid to have their face on the screen on Zillow, and that's it. So that means you don't get a buyer, and that means the realtor that knows them in St. Louis, for example, doesn't get anything. So we're going to have a few hundred realtors who are in the club here that are certified through Baba, and then it's going to be up to the title people in the other markets to build the same thing. And a real estate agent in St. Louis cannot be the buyer's agent on a contract in Florida because they're not licensed here. However, they can refer to a buyer's agent across state lines in most cases. Some states don't allow it, and then they can get a referral fee or a commission split. So instead of Aunt Susie from St. Louis moving to Tampa and just finding someone randomly and no one in our group benefits from it in any way, instead of that, well, her nephew is a realtor for Gundaker Homes, for example, in St. Louis, and he's going to say, no, Aunt Susie, if you're moving to Florida, let me send it through my network. I know they're going to take great care of you, and I'll benefit from it. So the Baba Realtor in Tampa Bay, you folks who have been loyal and you've been coming to the events and supporting the partners and being great at your job, you will, from time to time, get a buyer dropped in your lap, and no cost to you whatsoever. And then Aunt Susie's nephew up in Missouri gets a little bit of that commission. And so take that and extrapolate it to, if I do my job right, where we have 50 markets with 200 agents in it apiece, then you've got 10,000 people who are encouraged, incentivized to refer people through the network, and vice versa. I'm sure at some point somebody's going to move from Tampa Bay to St. Louis. I have no idea why they would, because I've lived in both, but you never know. So that's the deal. And what you're doing now is helping me get to the point where this is an attractive enough concept or model for me to expand it into these other markets, and it's just a win for everyone. So you're meeting all these great people. It's costing you no money. It's helping you develop your team or improve your team of real estate professionals, and then it's going to put money in your pocket. And this is all compliant. This isn't kickbacks or anything shady like that. It's not at all how we're wired over here. And I just really appreciate it. Please share the concept with your agent friends, the good ones. If you have people that you know in real estate that are shady and they don't do things the right way and they don't want to take care of their clients and they're just out to make a buck, please don't invite them. But the folks that really want to become better at what they do and become better people, frankly, we want them in the group, and we want to make this thing amazing. And you know, I've done a lot of stuff in my 20 years in my career. Some of it just copying other people, and some of it innovative. And I've never been more excited about anything than Become a Better Agent LLC. And I think the sky's the limit for all of us. So so please help us make this better. And I guess that's all my rambling for right now.
Yeah, and I think everybody's kind of, I know certainly I'm bought into the Baba thing. And Kevin, I think your genius in developing this is once it goes, it's gone, and everybody will benefit from it. And the big thing, the couple of points I want to touch on that Kevin said, that this really is designed for people like us. You guys have taken the time carved out of your schedule on a Monday to do this. And we do the same thing for you, obviously. We want to make you better agents. And the big thing here is there's a lot of agents out there that make us look bad. So we're not going to trash any of them. We're going to, say hi and smile and go on, but we're just maybe going to not invite them. So we want that attractiveness that you have as an agent that wants to get better, that's driving your business, that is building that rapport and trust through Facebook, the internet, the website, network meetings, Baba meetings, and things like that. When you invite people to join you, they got to share those same values. These are people that you want to go hang out with on the boat, or go to the beach with, or share a weekend with, or have a beer or a coffee or whatever with. The like-mindedness is really kind of important, because this is not for everybody. This industry is not for everybody. And of course, this Baba stuff is not for everybody. And when you get into a leadership role, as Kevin and I have been in leadership roles for a long time, we understand it's not for everybody. And the ones that are left over at the end are the ones that win. And we want you guys to develop that strong work ethic if you don't already have it. That's why we do weeklies, and attract people that have that same work ethic. We had a question here. I'm going back in the chat box a little bit on someone, I apologize, Sherry, who said, should we invite a teammate, a battle buddy that's of the same brokerage? Yes, if they share in your values, they share in your work ethic. The big thing is, do they show up? Are they late? Are they disheveled? The knowledge part will teach, but do they have the same level of commitment and hunger that you have? That's what you're looking for from a battle buddy. That's what you're looking from a partner realtor, somebody that you can count on. If they call you to come babysit their kid, and you've called them 4 times to babysit yours, and they don't show up, fire them. Find another one. We'll help you find another one.
Let me jump in on that. Keep a really open mind with who your battle buddy or who your accountability partner, whatever you want to call them. Keep a really open mind as to what type of, not just the type of person, but the profession or the maturity level of that person. A great example is I met with a guy last week. I've known him for a few years. Fantastic guy. He's been working with realtors in a non-real estate field, but he's been a vendor for realtors in a, it doesn't matter what he was doing, but he wants to get into real estate. He's a super sharp guy, and I'm like, look, of course you need to develop your team, and I consider myself one of the perfect people to help someone develop that team, and that's all the folks, the lenders and title and inspectors and all the people that we've, basically the partners that we're building in Baba, that type of person. But also he's a young guy, and I instantly thought of Tom Scaglione, and I thought of Tom because Tom's been around the block a million times. He knows just about everything. He may actually know everything, and he's the perfect mentor for this kid. And at the same time, this kid's a millennial, and he's the perfect partner for someone like Tom, because they come from obviously different time frames of life, and the cutting edge stuff that an older gentleman, more experienced person may know on the real estate system side and all that kind of stuff is vital. But at the same time, a 30-year-old guy is exposed to and socializes with a different type of crowd, and this whole millennial buying group is just going to be phenomenally huge. That you could even think outside of real estate. these lending partners that we have, I don't think it would be wrong to have them as your battle buddy. Y'all are doing different things, but have an accountability partner that is in real estate related, but it doesn't have to be an agent. It could totally be an agent from your own brokerage. I don't really think it should be your best friend, somebody that you hang out with all of the time, because, well, you know, they're not necessarily going to get mad at you if you don't do what you want to do. And this has been a forever struggle with me, is finding and having an accountability partner. And it still is, because I've been my own boss for so long. And, you know, I set a meeting with a client, I sure as hell don't miss it. But when it's an internal meeting here, or it's a task that I give myself, it's a report that I need to build, it's a marketing activity that I know that I have to undertake, and I just don't get to it, I don't really have consequences other than not having the fruits of the labor of doing it. Yeah, just someone who is reliable, that you know you can count on. But if they have a different perspective because they have a different job than you, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And maybe it's not a battle buddy, maybe it's a battle team. One of the things that we've done, obviously, is we've changed the Baba Live events from monthly to every 2 months, and that's for a variety of reasons. But and I hope you're all plugged into my Facebook business pages, and I'll actually send the links to everyone who's signed up for this coaching to make sure you all are. But you'll notice that we're doing a lot of bonus Babas, is what I'm calling them, but it's basically me connecting with our partners and helping them drive more Baba agents to their events that I co-host, because they bring a totally different type of value. Leo, you were at the Security National social media boot camp last week, and class 2 is this week. And you know, they have a set of skills there, or a set of knowledge in their younger guys, the millennials that are teaching this stuff, that I simply don't have, and I'm not able to teach. So in addition to the Baba Live events, which, you know, think of that as the main event of the month or 2 months, but at the same time, do your very best to plug into all this other stuff. We've got one coming up on August 3rd with another lending partner, and they're bringing in a national speaker, and he's several $1,000s to have him come and speak, and he's booked months and months and months out. And this is going to be a bonus Baba event that we're co-sponsoring, and there's value in every single one of these things. And if you come to these meetings and don't pick up something that's useful, then you weren't paying attention. And then the hardest thing, obviously, and this is where the accountability comes in, the hardest thing is implementing. And at class 2 of this week, I'm going to call some of the people out, because we're able to tell if they've implemented anything from class 1. And, you know, guys, there's just so much out there. There's so much value. I see all these things where you can spend a few $100s and you can fly to Vegas and do this mastermind stuff with, you know, thousands of other realtors. And that's cool. Chances are you won't implement what you're doing. When I go to Vegas, I don't usually remember most of my trip, so I don't go there anymore. Mm-hmm. But it's also all right here in your own backyard. And set up one-on-ones with these lenders. Set up a one-on-one with me. I promise, if we sit down for an hour in my office or whatever, and we talk about what you're trying to do specifically with real estate, you will. And it's not because I'm brilliant or a genius or anything like that. It's just because I've been around and I know what works and what doesn't to a degree. You'll walk out of that meeting with some ideas that you never thought of. You implement half of those, and your business will go up like instantly.
Yeah, so that's a great point. And reaching back just a little bit, Ashlyn Silver, who attends most of the Baba events, a very successful real estate agent here in the St. Pete area. Her battle buddy is a mortgage broker, and they're best buddies and stuff like that. And she'll help and she'll babysit Ashlyn's kids when they need it and stuff like that. So that's a great point, that your battle buddy, or that partner realtor, or that partner somebody that you'll team with, doesn't necessarily have to be a realtor. But it does help if they're in the industry to some degree, because that we work after hours and we work weekends, and they've got to be able to kind of understand a little bit of what we do. But Ashlyn does it very successfully with Lisa, and does a great job. And to your point, Kevin,
one of the things that, I'm sorry to cut you off, Leo, but as I hope you're all registered for the next BABA on August 9th, and if you have something else, some other appointment, please cancel it or reschedule it, because this is going to be huge. But it's the safety and realtor safety and crime prevention edition, and we're going to be sharing some very, very simple tips that will make you safer and make you not be victims in financial ways and also physically. And what Leo just said, if you're a realtor and your battle buddy's a mortgage person, well, guess what? They have them co-host your open house with you. Have anyone at your brokerage who has a listing, if they're not going to sit an open house, they'll let you do it. Go on 100K and ask if anybody has a house you can sit, and you will be bombarded. I believe I've seen it with beautiful and sometimes not so beautiful homes that you can hold an open house at. Get your mortgage broker involved. If they're too busy, get one of their loan officers involved, and they'll market the hell out of it just like you will. You get a bunch of folks there. I have not heard of a realtor, and unfortunately it's typically a woman, when they're assaulted at these open houses or at a showing. I've never heard of that happening when someone else was there. So these criminals, it's like having an ADT sign outside of your house, or living on a cul-de-sac, or living in a street that doesn't have two ways out. You're less attractive for crime. These people are going to hurt someone, make them hurt someone that's not you. And if that loan officer is there, it does nothing but solidify your relationship with them. And buyers come in, hey, here's my loan officer, and on his iPad right here, you can go ahead and see if this is enough house for you. Maybe you can afford more. Maybe you have some work to do. Oh, by the way, we've got a great BABA credit repair partner. Hell, maybe he's at the open house too. So just use these folks. All of us we're not your vendors. We are your partners, and we are here as a resource. I've gone to open houses. I'm as a title guy, I'm not permitted to advertise a property, but guess what? As BABA, the marketing and enrichment company, I am. So I'll sit in open house. Let's do it. I'll go crazy on social media. I'll get a bunch of folks there. I'll tell the neighbors, and it'll give us a chance to hang out for a couple hours and meet some folks. And no one's going to attack you when I'm there. I'm a pretty good sized guy, and chances are I'm armed. So you'll be safe. So just always think about that kind of stuff. Don't be a victim.
Good deal. All great stuff. Kevin, certainly appreciate it. And Kevin's on these calls very consistently. And when he's not on the call, he has got, 15 closings to do and things like that. If he's not ever on the call, he's working for you in the title agency to get you what you need. So if he's, he's usually on all these calls, but, if he's not, like I said, he's working on your behalf and your capacity. We're a little bit over budget on time right now. We like to start on time and finish on time. I'm going to end with a couple of little points here. Remember what this program is, folks. We're not replacing your broker. Okay, let me repeat that. We are not replacing your broker. This is an enrichment program for you, just you. This is not vendor driven. We're not going to ask you for now. We'll ask some probing questions here and there, and we would certainly like for you to send business opportunities our way, but it's not a requisite for what we're doing here. We feel, Kevin and I both share in this, that if we do a good job at what we do and provide you the value that you need to become a better agent, you'll give us the opportunity to win business. And we certainly would appreciate that opportunity. And I think if you use me or you use Kevin, you'll be surprised how good we are at what we do. And we'll be doing presentations at BABA events and, of course, at the BABA bonus events in your area. And I think, was it Cherie or no, it was Tiffany that said need to do some stuff in Hernando. We can absolutely work on that. We can talk about that as a BABA business, BABA bonus program up in that Hernando area. We don't mind doing that.
Just to interrupt again, I'm so sorry, Leo, but
you're good.
I was and I posted this on the BABA pages just now, but the the builder that we're going to be featuring at Baba 21. As most of you know, their first effort is in Spring Hill, and they have 22 job sites, and it looked like about 10 of them are at various stages of construction. We're doing an open house at one of their job sites, an open tent, I guess, and it's going to be this Saturday from noon to 4. And I very likely will be putting maybe a temporary office, like an office suite up there for a few months, and then figuring out if that's going to be a long-term solution for us in that area or not. But we are going to be heading a little further north with our live events, and then I have a couple other things that I won't get into right now. But yeah, the Hernando County is, obviously a booming area. Pasco, we do a remarkable amount of business for Pasco properties already. Keep in mind, location doesn't matter. It does when you're selling a property, but when you're closing on it, it doesn't, because we can come anywhere. But yeah, I want to take this at some point. Another reason that it's bi-monthly, the live events, is we're going to start doing these in other parts of the state. I've got some folks in Broward County working to develop a network of realtors down there to have our first event. We're also looking at Sarasota, and yeah, I'm absolutely in love with all that area, all the way up to Veterans and even up 19 past that. So yeah, good things on the horizon, but it all hinges on the revenue that I have to have in order to expand. So in the meantime, ITA of West Chase is your total solution everywhere in Florida.
Yeah, and Kevin is going to do a presentation on title and the value of controlling title. And I know we've got the realtors that are a little bit new, and this is something there's different opinions on it. Kevin does all my title work. He'll do all my title. I have 2 jobs. I'm a real estate agent. I won't do much real estate. I'll do maybe 4 or 5 deals a year, but I'm an insurance agent. I'm an insurance resource for you. So I'll do a few, but I control title on both sides when I can, and I really push it hard. And there's a reason for that. I'm not going to take the wind out of his sails right now. He's going to do a presentation on controlling title and the benefit that you have for your buyer and your seller. And he'll do it at one of our webinars that we'll have coming up here. But remember, going back a little bit, this is an enrichment program for you, your business, and your family, and your life, and everything, and carving out that time. It's really about frequency. And if you've had coaches or teachers or mentors or whatever, they all kind of say the same thing. It's what you do habitually that makes that habit, that drives it home, that the others will fall off of. Anybody can work hard for a week. Anybody can work hard for a month. Anybody can work hard for 90 days. It's not about working hard. It's about working consistently. That'll create that effectiveness. Getting your brand out there on Facebook, we'll talk about that. Getting your media out there, getting your bomb videos, we'll get to all that in time. For the next month, we're going to work on your frequency. Showing up to these calls, sharing what you're doing, accepting the the critiques from your action team to get you moving a little bit forward, using your support team and really building that foundation for that frequency that you need to use in business. There's a lot of agents out there. There are very, very, very few good ones. Bob says it all the time. You don't really have competition if you're good. This program is designed to make good to great, great to outstanding, outstanding to unbelievable. We're not replacing your broker. You still need to use your broker for the brokerage questions that you have, the contractual questions. We'll have contract breakdowns on here and all that too, but your number one resource on your action team is still going to be your broker. So please make sure you defer to that. What I want to do is close out the call with this. You have a little homework assignment. I got a question from Scott. Is there a class that you teach regarding flood insurance? Yes. Can you recommend something that would help to understand the different flood zone cost home buyers? Scott, yes. The question, I'm going to try to do the 10,000 foot view on here. Alpha and Victor, A zone, V zone, Alpha, Victor are your 2 required zones for flood. On your cheat sheet that you're going to get emailed to you in a minute, this is most counties in Florida, 1975 and behind do not require an elevation certificate. I'm going to repeat that. 74, 73, 72, 71, and back don't require extra cost for an elevation certificate for me to quote and bind flood coverage. 1975, 76, 77 to current, I got to have a flood certificate, which is a cost to the buyer typically, or if there's an existing flood policy, you can buy it directly from the homeowner. Flood's the only one you can do that. But to answer your question, yes, I do a class on flood, on how to do it. Please don't be afraid of it. It's not that big a deal to get going. Some buyers will take it, some buyers won't. Not a big deal, but I do teach a class on that. You guys will have a direct class that I teach in this forum right now concerning that. So no worries, we will get to that. And Scott, if you do have questions in flood and flood insurance stuff, you'll have my email address and phone number. Call me directly. I can answer those questions. And just like I said at that end slide, send me the MLS sheet. Email it to quotes@stateinsuranceonline.com. We have to have something to go by. Make sure you always send me the MLS sheet. That way we have a source of reference that we can work from. I have MLS access to the office, but I'm in the car a lot. So sometimes Tiffany and Ryan jump on these things, and they'll end up asking you questions, and just send them the MLS sheet. Email it over to them directly from the MLS, and we can get to work on it. But you got a homework assignment. I want you to buy that book, The Way of the Seal. I know you've read lots of books. You've read Mayer, and we've done the DISC assessment and all that. Those are great. I've read them too. This book is unbelievable. I don't give too many homework assignments like this, but I want you to get The Way of the Seal by Mark Divine, and I want you to read it. It's a workbook and a book at the same time. It's unbelievable. It's straight to the point. There's no fluff, and it's very much get after it.
Hey guys, real quick on the book thing, and I'll be posting this today. We're starting a Baba book exchange. So we have this cool little stamp that we're going to stamp on the inside of your book when you bring it to donate. It's going to say this book donated by Leo Young or whomever. Hopefully bring a business book or any type of book that helped you in your life or career, and you're going to put that on the table when you entered Baba. And if there's one there that you want to take it. It's totally on the honor system. When you're done with it, bring it back. And I've got a bunch of books when I was able to read back in the day, and I'm going to start bringing them to that. It'll be a cool sharing of ideas, no cost to anyone, and there you go.
Yeah, and I write in the margins of my books and things like that. So when you get a book exchange from me, you'll have notes and scribble and chicken scratch and all that stuff in there as well. I love stuff like that. I'm a fairly voracious reader when I get into one, but The Way of the Seal was particularly poignant to me, and I know Kevin he'll do that homework assignment as well. It's great. What we're going to do, I'm framing up the call for next week. Here's what we're going to do. I need you to complete that Baba tool that we just went over in the webinar. I need you to work. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just there's no wrong way to do it. Throw that stuff down. We're going to talk about that very briefly next week, and then we're going to get right into the nuts and bolts. We're going to talk about what your action plan is for the week. What are you going to do consistently this week? And then the week after that, we're going to hold you to those. We're going to talk about, did you sit those open houses? Did you call those expireds? Are you calling your sphere? How are you working your sphere? Are you a note card writer? Whatever it may be. Network events, the thing up in Hernando that Kevin's talking about on Saturday, showing up to that, finding out information. Put that down there as well. These weekly calls, the most of them are, what are you doing specifically you to support your core values in your business? And we're going to hold you accountable as best we can to that. And then we're going to have these webinars that are going to be drill down, nuts and bolts, get after it, hyper huge value. We'll also be doing some breakout sessions of the Baba events here and there, but for the call next week, you need to write down what the consistent stuff that you're doing. I encourage you to use a manual calendar, not an electronic one. Use an actual manual to-do list, whatever. It can be a scratch pad, a whiteboard. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. So that's what we're doing this next week, and we're going to get down to it and hear from everybody on the call. And so I may cut you off if you're running long. I may try to draw you out if you're running short, but that's what we're doing next week. Again, the homework assignment is filling out your tool, that Baba tool that we went over just a little bit ago. Get that book, start reading it. And next week, we're going to talk about what you did this week to make yourself a better person, primarily associated with your business. So, Kevin, do you have anything else for everybody? Real quick, registration, Kevin, for the Baba event next month. Do they go to Eventbrite? Where do you want them to go?
Yeah, just go to babaevent.com and you can click on buy tickets from there. The room is last month we had all three of the rooms. This month in June we had all three. In August we only have two, so we have seating for 150. We have 140 registrations already, and I'm just starting this week to start saying what the actual content is. But please register right away because we will have to turn it off at some point. And if for any reason you can't attend, please let us know because we've been developing a scorecard, I guess, or a show versus no show. And we do have a lot of repeat offenders, people that have registered and not shown up, and that kind of causes problems on the scheduling side for us. So we're going to stop allowing some people to register. Or have another type of coaching or a meeting or something with the people who just don't show up, because a big part of becoming a better agent is showing up when you promise you're going to show up. So yeah, please register, and we will see you there. This is going to be potentially the most important Baba that we've had so far, and we've got a couple special guests that I'm not going to announce that you'll certainly want to meet.
Awesome. I just posted on the chat box there, babaevents.com. Go register real quick and just get that done so you don't have to worry about that. And remember, all of you guys in this coaching program, you sit up front. We'll have chairs reserved for you up front in the classroom, and you guys get the benefit of sitting up front and reserved seating up there for everybody. And that'll be a chance also where we can, because I don't know everybody, but we'll get a chance to shake hands and talk a little bit. And I usually do some sidebar stuff and right there. So it'll be a chance, again, for everybody to be up front, right at the front of the classroom. If you're not comfortable with that, I'm sorry. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit while we're doing business and come sit up front with us. And if I'm too loud, just let me know because I get kind of loud because I'm passionate. I get fired up about this, and so does Kevin. But right now we're over budget, well over budget. I do apologize for that, but the first call usually does run long. You'll get an email from me, those that don't have the cheat sheet here, in just a minute. And we look forward to hearing from you next week at 11 o'clock on Monday. You'll get an email from us later in the week announcing the call. And really appreciate everybody carving out this time, stepping forward, and wanting to become a better agent. And at this time, I'll go ahead and close this call. Kevin, I'll call you here in just a minute, buddy, and we'll go from there. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you.